the Hottie and the Nottie. This movie is an unholy abomination unto mankind. It is the worst thing unleashed on mankind since the Holocaust. Hell, I think it's one of the signs of the apocalypse. It is that bad. We start when our hero is in first grade. And is introduced to the new girl at school, who he instantly falls in love with, and goes and makes a Valentine's card for her. But we cut to 20 years later before he gives her the Valentine's Day card, when he was singing a song to his present-day girlfriend, who then decides to leave him and take her drawer full of junk with her. And we see she has spray-painted loser on his car. He then decides to hook up with that girl he liked in first grade and head to Los Angeles and see what she's up to. Now, he goes to his friend, who has been stalking apparently this girl all these years. And he sits on her jogging route and jogs after her to get a smell of her, and then trips her, and then reintroduces himself as in, we were in first grade together. And she kind of remembers him. Like you can remember anything from first grade. I don't remember any of the kids from my first grade class. Except for this one kid named James. I used to call James Bond. But I don't remember what he looks like. So stalking is apparently the way to go to meet women in movies. That does not work in real life. So do not actually stalk women in real life, even though it is the way to meet women in movies. So they go to a diner and reminisce. She finds out she has a stalker. He finds out she has a stalker, who she apparently doesn't mind. So he's her second stalker. He should be wearing silk so he can be the silk stalker. No one remembers that show but me. And I didn't even watch it. I just don't remember the name Silk Stockings. And he finds out that she's rooming with her best friend from first grade, June Figs, also known as the Nottie. The Hottie is played by Paris Hilton. The Nottie is June Figs. And he has to get in good with the Nottie so he can fuck the Hottie. And then they go to a yoga session because he claimed to be a lifestyle coach / personal trainer. Now, the first half hour of this movie is pretty much just ugly jokes. Now, he then goes to bribe a man to go out with June. He offers him $500 for a series of dates. The guy immediately tries to bolt, so he offers 3 times that much, which for those of you paying attention is $1,500 to date June, but the guy bolts after June's infected toenail comes off and lands on the guy. Now, I don't know what this guy is doing for money, that he can do both in Maine and in LA. I'm guessing drug dealer, because he looks like someone who does crack. Now, for those of you, crack is whack. Do not do crack. Smoke weed instead. Weed is, I can't think of anything that rhymes with weed, but weed is good. And don't try to hook up with Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton's vagina will probably disintegrate you. So then after he tries to electrocute the guy who bolted, he kidnaps him, tries to aversion therapy and hypnotize the guy, but hypnosis ends up wearing off after the code word is said accidentally at the carnival. June is humiliated by a midget mime, but is rescued by Johann, a Harvard-educated marine dentist. I told you this movie isn't any good. Who offers to fix June's teeth, and then June is fixing herself by having her mole removed and having her hair removed with lasers, though I didn't see any hair on her body, and using Rogaine on her hair that is balding. So she is not a Nottie anymore. And we later learn the Harvard-educated marine dentist is a pilot. So apparently this guy just does every kind of job imaginable and likes to fix children's teeth for fun. Personally, I think he's got a fetish for it. This makes our main character jealous, who tries to do everything in his power to keep the Johann from taking his shirt off, which Johann does at every opportunity. Which leads to a fight in a club where Paris Hilton breaks up with our hero. But don't worry, the Nottie, after our hero spends 3 weeks on the couch eating chocolate and candy and crying and probably doing crack, the Nottie, who is now a hottie herself, is good with our guy. Gets in good with our guy and gets him to go to our costume party. So I assume this is around Halloween. I'm just assuming here. But then again, this Paris Hilton, she might do costume parties all year round. It might be Christmas. It might be New Year's. You know, Paris Hilton is really dumb. And she might just be like, costume party. And it might be the 4th of July. So I go to a costume party, and he realizes June is hooked up with Johann. And Paris Hilton is drunk, which I don't think she played drunk. I just think she got really drunk for the scene. Which Paris Hilton is a terrible actor in this. But then again, she's a terrible actor anyway. So is Kim Kardashian and so many other of these rich people who try to act. And then he's jealous of June because Johann says June will be grateful for all my help. So he goes to hook up with Paris, but he can't hook up with Paris because he's in love with June. So Johann goes to hook up with June, but June leaves him. So our hero goes to tell June he's in love with her, but June left Johann. So he finds June at the carnival, walking the pier, and he runs up and professes love, and they get together at the end. And that is the end of the movie. And we assume Paris then goes and disintegrates several guys with her vagina, which just melts people. This movie is horrible. Do not watch it. Do not even think about watching it. Do not even think about thinking about watching it. It is on Prime. It is on Tubi. It's on several others. But if you go to click on it, just know you're in for an hour and a half of just a horrible movie. This is the worst movie I've ever seen. I've watched Monos. I've watched Things. I've watched Birdemic. I've watched Thanksgiving. I've watched Suburban Sasquatch. I've watched Plan 9. I actually quite enjoyed Plan 9 from Outer Space. I've watched next week's movie, which is Battlefield Earth, the #1 worst movie of all time, according to IMDb. I this movie is worse. I mean, the first half hour is pretty much just ugly jokes. The last hour is pretty much ugly jokes. This movie pretty much teaches you if you're ugly, you're worthless. Get pretty and be worth something. It is an abomination unto humanity. It should be sealed in a vault, put away somewhere, along with Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian and all the Kardashians and several other people. So that's the Hottie and the Nottie. I rate it -5 stars out of 10. Next week's movie is Battlefield Earth. It is the #1 worst movie on the IMDb list. I will tell you the truth. I have seen it. I don't remember much about it, but I remember it being watchable. I have read the book also, and the book is great. Highly recommend the book Battlefield Earth. The movie I remember being watchable though. So see you next week for the #1 worst movie. Can't be any worse than the Hottie and the Nottie.